course, we are here again wandering in the park in Oakland.
Yes.
Right? And we are with a beautiful
Of
and very
course.
inspiring co-author of In Her Purpose, Miss Jen Redondo Marquez.
Yes.
Now,
Marquez, welcome to you.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thanks for having me on.
Tell us a little something about your story. Before we move on to the book, you were born here, right? Born and raised?
Born and raised in LA, and
LA.
then
We're in LA.
I grew up in West Covina.
Ooh, I have a show there, 23 April. Seriously, at
Yeah.
the St. Martha Church.
Oh my gosh,
School
I know
ground.
where that is.
Oh, memorize.
Yes.
April
She has so
23.
many shows.
Oh my God. Anyway, so you grew up there and then...
Me and my cousin Rose, we wrote a book in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Because
The
we-
pandemic.
the
During the
Yes.
pandemic. Okay.
Yes.
That's
we-
why you write, because there's pandemic, home. Ano yun?
No, the book was actually ready.
Work from home.
Ready before that, and
Okay.
we had this whole tour planned to go to like all the cities throughout the United States, and then we had to shut down. So
Because of
of
the
pandemic, and so we ended up launching it virtually in
Oh,
2020.
Okay. Pwede pala yun, virtually.
No choice.
Ano ako, dream ko dapat may book ako eh. Book
Oo.
kami.
Very exciting po yung book ni Peachy. Abangan
Yeah,
natin.
serious yun. May level 1, 2 to the highest level, ganyan.
Okay, before In Her Purpose, I heard you were in the tech industry, right?
Yes.
So how was that, like being in working in the tech industry, being a Filipina,
And then writing.
like going up that corporate ladder?
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was actually really tough for me because, I mean, as you know, you grew up in Filipino family. Everyone is like a nurse or
Yeah,
yes.
or post
That's like-
office.
It's nurse. Nurse is like the
Nurse.
ultimate
Hindi,
sa
hotel
right? Or
din.
medical industry.
Tsaka
it's
restaurant.
government, medical, service.
Yeah.
And no one in my family worked in corporate America. None of them were businessmen or businesswomen. I was the first one in my family to go to school and graduate from university in the United States.
Okay.
So that was already tough. Like every time I asked my mom and dad for help for homework,
Mga ganun.
Parang si Peach.
yeah, my dad would always say I was absent. I was absent that day. My parents couldn't really help me in school, and so
So,
Going.
I hope you understand na. It's not just you, okay? And then, so you did it yourself.
like I was really privileged. My mom and dad sent me to private school.
Uh-huh.
Growing up, I was actually not that great of a student. I was always in the principal's office. I was bored and I would get in trouble all the time. I'm asking questions like
you love to ask.
why do I have to do that?
You're just wondering.
Just wondering.
with an O.
That's why she's smart, because she asked a lot of questions. That's what they say, right?
Ah,
Like
ganun
for the
ba?
kids that
So I was always in trouble as a kid. My mom was always at the principal's office. Me and my principal were like on a first name basis. He's like, what did you do today? Why are you here again?
How old are you then?
I was in elementary school, junior high. He's the reason why I ended up going to all-girl high school because he sent me home with this packet. So it was sealed and said, do not open, give this to your mom. Well, this is in junior high when I was about to go to high school. And he's like, give this to your mom. And it was like a packet for this all-girl Catholic high school where nuns were my teacher.
My daughter like that.
So he could help you type of thing.
So Catholic school ka before?
I went to Catholic
But you
school.
left? O
Thank
No,
you to that
I-
principal.
Hindi, kasi I'm curious, you know why? Ang daughter ko kasi nasa Catholic school.
I went to private
Parang
school my
ganyan.
whole life until I went to Berkeley. So that's my first time going to public school and then being around boys.
Yeah.
I just remember my mom being really, really shocked. She's like, there's boys in your bathroom, there's homeless people, is it safe to leave you here? You know that street Telegraph?
Yeah.
So we were walking and my mom was just like, oh, it smells like marijuana.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mom, how do you know what marijuana smells like?
Oh, they know.
Oh, this is ano sila mo, this is kush.
So I was laughing. I'm like, okay. So she was worried because, you know, like I was moving away from home. I was living in the same building as a
Very
boy.
Filipina, ma'am. Siguro I
Oh.
feel like
Yeah,
that.
traditional.
My mom was afraid. For me, I was like, oh my God, I have so much
Ah,
freedom.
really? Kasi grabe ba ang Catholic? They really...
Because I wore uniform.
Yeah.
I went to school with girls. My teachers were nuns.
We're gonna get to the book, But before that, you were part of Faster and Collective Hustle.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
can you tell us more about that?
yeah, so I'm a mentor for both Faster and Collective
Ano
Hustle.
faster?
So Faster, it's for Filipino Americans who want to get into like science, tech,
Oh, wow.
You're
and
part of that.
yeah. So I'm a mentor. It's like you get someone in the working world gets paired with like a student in college.
Ah.
So I did that because a lot of Berkeley folks had started the organization.
Oh, nice.
And so I wanted to give back to the community and. I mean, I wish I had a mentor.
So it's just
That's cool.
free.
It's free.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Anong tawag doon?
That's cool though. That's really cool.
I also do it for Collective Hustle. So Collective Hustle is it's one of the initiatives that ABS-CBN,
Okay.
TFC, they are targeting like the American, Canadian population that's our age. I also mentor for them as well.
That's cool.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
really cool. And you're also part of Mommy and Me Cancer Foundation?
It doesn't exist anymore, but Mommy and Me Cancer Foundation is a nonprofit
Okay.
that was founded by Jennifer Claren.
Okay.
And she's actually someone that I grew up with, and she kind of like mentored me as when I was younger. So she started this nonprofit because one of her friends that was really young, like in her 20s, got diagnosed with cancer, and she had a little baby, and so
Kaya naging Mommy and Me.
So it's Mommy and
Parang
Me.
she support the mom.
correct.
Kumbaga, you're not alone.
Correct. I was on the board of directors, and I became the
Wow.
woman of
Grabe.
the foundation, and you know, we
Very, siya, smart.
No, and not just
Gusto
that,
niya
you have a
may-
big heart. Because I
Yeah.
mean, you give a lot of your time, you know, a lot of your
Yeah.
time to others.
Hindi, kumbaga, she's using her smartness to loveliness.
to help others. Yeah.
Yes.
So how did you guys create In Her Purpose?
So, working in tech and being in the corporate world, it's very male and very pale. In the beginning, it was hard because, I mean, Filipinos, we have really good genes, so we look young.
Yes.
And then we're always wearing jeans and sneakers. So, a lot of times,
Sunblock. ganyan.
they didn't take me seriously. They thought I was like the intern or
Ganon.
just really, really young. And I started to like kind of doubt myself. Like if there was a table, I would never want to sit at the table. I'd
So
always,
they might say na,
I don't know, I just didn't have confidence. Like I
Oh.
wanted to go to the back of the room or
Oo.
to the side
And
or whatever. I
then-
never really took a seat at the table because I was like, well, do they care about what I have to say? Are they going to
Okay.
take me
How old are
seriously?
you then?
I was like 25, 26.
Okay.
You're still
So
shy.
still young, yeah, still fairly young, and every time I went in the room, like I was usually like the only Filipino, or the only girl in the room. So it was tough, and so I started to feel really lost, and I didn't have somebody to look up to that could kind of help me,
Oo.
guide me. I reached out to Rose, my cousin,
Okay. Which
Who-
is her co-author.
who's my co-author. At the time, she's actually one of the only ones in our family that's also not in the medical field. And she was a vice president at an advertising agency.
Oh, wow.
So you went
Okay.
up to her and
So I
said,
asked her, I was like, you have friends? You have any of your colleagues that want to mentor me? Rose was like, yeah, actually, I do. Around that time, that's when she started managing the Philharmonic, the all-boy a cappella
Oh,
group.
yeah. Yes. They
So-
performed, right? At the
Yes,
okay.
they
I
did.
remember
Filipino ba
they were
sila?
really good.
Hindi.
Yung
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
Filipino, right?
They're Filipino Americans. So she started to manage them, and she started to meet like a lot of women that were high up there that looked like us. And so she started kind of like after she met them, she would go on Google and type in their name,
That's-
and then she found nothing, like nothing on them, like nothing. And she was like, oh, I can't believe I can't find anything on them.
'cause
And so-
usually you can.
usually you
right?
can
Yeah.
find something.
Talaga? Ano
Yes.
yun, yung mga mentor?
Hindi yung mga Google. Pag may
Like I
nakilala
could
kang
Google you, and I'm
pag-
sure I'll find a whole bunch of stuff on you.
Oh, sige, sige.
Right?
Yeah. So they did
I'm
see
sure I know what's
Pero
someone.
ikaw wala.
Well,
No,
now
yung mga ibang
now I
people
can't.
Ah.
But like other people, like we found nothing, and so we went on Google, and I remember we went on Google and we went on Amazon Books, and we put in successful Asian women, and then what came out, the result
Room
was
for me.
it was how to marry an Asian. So Rose was furious,
Faithful
pissed
na.
off, and she's like,
There's
I
so
want to
many
fix it.
successful-
Yes.
Ah,
She's
so
like,
parang you
Asian
wanna
women.
represent the Asian.
yeah, in a
women.
positive light.
Yes,
Ah,
that's
may
true.
kaya may purpose.
But their book though, it's 40,
Purpose.
right?
40?
Iba yung
Inspiring Asian Women. Yun yung book nila.
40.
Oo. So your book's doing really well, right?
It's doing really,
Yeah.
it's doing really well, and it's been opening up a lot of doors and
Oo.
opportunities for
women
just,
empowerment yan, no?
yeah. And I've always been a mentor, but I wanted someone for myself,
Yeah.
and that's kind of why I agreed. Well, 2 steps backwards is Rose met this woman named Sheila Marcello,
Uh-huh.
and she is one of the founders and former CEOs of Care.com.
Okay.
So, like, that's a website here in the United States where if you want to find a yaya or
talaga? What's
a dog-
that?
Care.com. So she was a founder,
Oh, wow.
and I didn't know that. She wrote an email to me and Sheila, and then Sheila actually met up with me at Starbucks,
That's cool.
and I was like, "This is awesome. She's the
the-
CEO."
Yeah.
And I'm a nobody, and she like came to meet me, and she lives in Boston. She came. to
Why she
Wow.
met you?
She
Because
came to
of the
California?
book?
She came to California.
That's awesome.
But for your book?
No, this was just because I asked
wanted a
Rose, I was like,
mentor.
"Do you have any friends who want to mentor me that could
She
kind of help me?" From there, I basically said, "You know what? Let's write the book," because then it gave me all these opportunities to meet all these other women,
So cool.
talk to them, learn from them.
So that's how you guys started.
That's kind
the
of how we
book.
started the book. Is Rose wanted to fix that one problem, and so now when you Google successful Asian women, like our book comes up. Like that was one of her goals, and
That's really cool.
yes,
And aside from the book now, you guys have programs, right?
we have
There's
programs. We
Anong
have a
programs?
podcast.
Do you have a show? in
We
Kumbayan?
have one,
Uh-huh.
but we were taking a break, but we're bringing it back for
Oh,
season
okay.
3.
Okay.
Because
Follow us on Kumu.
yes, follow us on Kumu. Kumu's been super amazing. They've been so supportive of us. Like we're here in the United States, and like whatever we ask and whatever we want to do, they're always super supportive and down. We don't only help women, but most of our clients are women. But Rose, she is a business coach, and she's helped a lot of.
For business
Oh,
coaching.
she's a business.
She's a business coach.
Oh, that's
So
How much is the book?
it's $27.99. It's on Amazon, Target.com,
Pero
and
puro online?
BarnesandNoble.com.
It's online?
It's online, but if you want to buy it in the store, it's at Make Collectives
Okay.
in Long Beach. It's at Malaya Botanicals in Alameda, here in the Bay Area.
Oh, nice.
I heard it's in the airport in San Diego. I haven't seen it, but
I'll go there on March 5.
okay.
So if you see the book,
Tell me if you
order
see it.
Na. Umorder na tayo.
Thank you for guesting. We're very happy.
Of course.
Especially me kasi nalaman ko na in her purpose. Yes. Saka siya pala yung author. Akala ko ang by author.
Yeah, co-author siya.
Akala ko iba yung writer, iba yung author. Hindi kasi
Same
ako
thing.
nababasa ng libro. But anyways, we've learned so many things from
Yes.
you. Ba?
And would you like to promote anything coming up for In Her Purpose or
Yes.
any upcoming projects? And where can they follow you guys?
Yeah, so you can follow us on all social media at In Her Purpose. And we have a lot of events coming up. Our goal for 2022 is to have an event every month. So if you're in LA in March, on March 13th, we're gonna have an event at the Pixie Boutique in LA in Century City. They recently launched their line with Hello Kitty.
Oh, cute.
So
Okay.
we're gonna do an event with Colleen, who's one of their global ambassadors, and she's gonna do like a glow skincare and makeup. It's gonna be all day,
Okay.
pretty much the mall hours. So stop by. April, there's gonna be another event at one of the women in our book. It's just gonna have an event for women, just
Okay.
kind of like a,
maganda
a
yun,
pampering.
pampering,
Yeah. And then May, we're gonna have we do a Mother's Day brunch
Oh, nice.
at Joanna Alba's house. So, you know, it's usually like a panel and just women. Some people bring their
Ano
moms.
yung English ba lahat o hindi naman?
It's in English.
Naku.
Okay lang yan, para
Oo
ma-practice
nga,
ka.
sige. Tsaka imagine mo, friends ko mga
English.
English
author.
Para
speaking.
magkaintindihan kayo ni Athena.
Author, oo, anak ko, Diyos ko. Anyway, mga author, Mama, gumagano na kaya sa akin si Athena. No, it's not like that, it's almond.
Oh, is it almond?
Almond! Sabi niya, what? Salmon? Hindi, almond. Mama, it's not like that. Nagagalit talaga, pati yung pronounce ng mga classmate.
Is it salmon or salmon?
Salmon.
Salmon. But to her daughter in Salmon.
Oo. Kaya alam
So
mo,
they don't
naging
understand
close sila lalo nung daddy niya. Kasi nga yung accent.
Because they understand each other more. So thank you so
Yeah.
much, Jen. We learned a lot from you, and we'll definitely check out the book. So guys,
Yeah, we're
if you
gonna
haven't already,
Less
check
than
out the- you can order on
$30.
Amazon, Target, and
BarnesandNobles.com.
Hoy, mayroon akong discount card sa Barnes & Noble.
Ayun, bumili ka
Nobel
na.
ba? Thank you mga The Wonder Mamas. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Wonder Mamas.
And of course, guys, don't forget, this coming May 15, may date na po kami for the
Yeah.
Romantic Saya concert with Miss Rufa May Quinto.
Yes, and of
Jaya,
course, Jaya and
Jinky
Jackie Oda.
Yes.
Ito po ay romantic saya na magaganap po dyan sa Los Angeles.
Yes, Noy Pits Cerritos. May kasama ng dinner yun.
Ay, ganun.
Oo, kukwento ko sa'yo
Oh,
mamaya.
sige, sige. Kasi
So-
kami producer, pero ako magpe-perform. Siya
Yeah, kami yung back, nasa back,
siya
behind the scenes. You can
Oh, you
email
can
us at
watch,
Mabuhay-
you should
Mabuhay
join.
Studios
My
at
family lives in
gmail.com
Cerritos.
for
Oh, they
information
live in
on tickets
Cerritos
and
daw,
sponsors.
yung mami niya. I
Ayun
wanna meet
pala
your
eh.
mom.
Okay.
Feeling ko kaya ako dito
Dapat si
makasundo
Mami
ko yung mga
interviewin din natin.
mami-mami eh. Kasi sila yung magaling Tagalog. Anyways,
Okay.
thank you guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Oo.